Welcome back, everyone. I know that you're all working on class pages this week in preparation for the student return, and I thought I'd go through a bit of a tutorial on how to put in some of the more simple elements that we all use across the faculty, and obviously beyond that, people can adapt things how they wish, but I wanted to go through some really simple ones. Having an overview, a text box overview of the whole year on your class page, importing your course and having the due dates in. I think that's really important and really useful, and it saves you a lot of time down the track. And including tiles for each of the unit pages. And very lastly, including a text box for what you're currently reading to really encourage students and to model, I suppose, good reading habits. And a really easy way too to make sure that you only have to do it once on one class page, the What Am I Reading box, and it will then be on every other class page that you've got, and you make a change on one of them and it will change it on all of them. So to start with, you will have noticed that I have removed a couple of the elements in advance. So I think there's usually like an image slideshow and a couple other things. I've removed those. I like making class pages pretty simple to make it really easy for students to do the right thing and to find the information that they're looking for. So we want to make them as uncluttered as possible. So to begin with, you might want to remove any extraneous elements or components that need to be there. But to make any changes, we need to make sure that we've unclicked the padlock at the top, and you'll see all of a sudden all these other options come up. So we're going to begin by importing a course. So I'm going to hit import. What's really useful is having your due dates ahead of time, and you might just pull them out of like rough due dates. Your teams might have obviously haven't confirmed all the due dates, but you know roughly the weeks that things are due. And I think that's really good for students to see ahead of time when things are due. But it's even a nice little reminder for you. So you might go into, I have pre-organized mine. So I went and looked through the 9 Enhanced curriculum documentation and have worked out roughly the due dates for every assessment. And that's what I'll put in now. And obviously, once I finalize them a little bit closer, I'll lock in some more specific dates. So to begin with, I'm going to search the subject code, which for this one is 09 Enhanced. No, it's not. It must be 9ENH. There it is. So 09ENH, there it is. So I'm going to click on 09ENH. And I know the units for this year are in order. So we've got Ars Poetica, we've got Current Affairs, we've got Of Mice and Men, then we should have Argument Analysis. Excellent. Then we've got Creative Writing. There it is, with The Boat by Nam Le. And lastly, we've got Taming of the Shrew. And then we've got 2 exams. I'm actually not going to put the exams in because I actually want to create a unit page that's just for exam preparation specifically. So I'm going to leave them out for now. I can always add them in later. I'm going to set them all up to open from next week on the 28th. And I can just copy and paste these down, which makes it a little bit simpler. So down we go. And the close dates. So I know the first semester. So what I like to do is the first semester, I like to end all the units at the end of June. So then they close and students don't have to worry about them anymore. I've also set that as 2022. That's embarrassing. That's weird. So I hit next. Now we've got all of our assessments and any due work items that have already been created for each of these units. So these aren't actually in the order they're supposed to be. That's okay. So I know that Of Mice and Men, I want the assessment itself to be due the 10th, roughly the 10th of June at this stage. But I'll definitely have to change that a little bit closer. And there's a practice text response. Excellent. At this stage, I'll put it if it's due the 10th of June, I'll make that due 2 weeks before. So let's have it at the end of May, roughly. Obviously, I'll adapt these a little bit further. The late dates don't really matter. What's really positive about making the late dates significantly after the due date is often, especially at the junior end, sometimes students submit things a little bit later, and that's okay. And obviously you'll have the discussion like we normally do, and there's a penalty incurred, but what this allows is it actually leaves the submission box open, and students can still submit after this particular date, but it will be stamped automatically as submitted late. And that makes it really easy for you. So then if you set it to close, so the late date and the due date are the same in same time, what happens is the submission box closes and students can't submit, so they email it to you, becomes very messy. This way, they submit even after the fact, it's stamped as late, and then you, as you go through and start marking, you can see this is late, or when you look after the fact, and then you can chase kids up and give the, have the conversation with students, and then the prescribed penalty, whatever that might be, or maybe none, if obviously students have been ill or unwell, it still allows them to submit after the fact, which is really valuable. So I'm going to do that due date. November. Okay, good, excellent, all done. So they're all done, which is great, and they're all in. I'm going to hit import. So you can see on the right-hand side here, this is my class page now. It's jumped back. You can see it shows none of these units are going to open for another 2 days. Oh, I said next week, so 2 days. So by Friday this week, so kids can see. I can still open it and look. I might check my due work items have all got the right names. So I can see I need to change these 3. They should say S2, like these ones. So that way they get automatically taken across to Synergetic at report writing time, and that's okay. I can fix them. And they also show up here for students as due work items. And you can see they're all in order too, which is really valuable, I think, for students. All right, so that's our course outlines in. I often like to change the colors of these headers. So I will click, so up here we'll see these little, I don't even know what you call them. Dials? No, they're not dials, whatever they are. I can edit the columns from here. So I click on that button. And here gives me some options for our headings. So I really don't like the default, especially that disgusting green. I like to match the colors with the colors in my calendar because I'm a nerd like that. And I know my calendar that I've got all my Year 9 Enhanced class set as orange. So I'm going to make 9 Enhanced orange tops, orange headers rather. All I got to do is hit save. What I can also do up here is change the column widths if you want. So I can make the columns a bit wider, and you can even change different columns can be different colors. So I might decide to change the columns on the right-hand side one color, the top a different color, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to hit save, and that's done. Excellent. So all our units are imported. Everything's in order. Due dates are roughly done, which I think is really valuable for students. The next step is I want to do an overview here. I want to keep the news item at the top, and I'll post a welcome message a little bit later. But to do our overview, what I'm going to do is, hopefully what would have happened is each of the course pages should have an overview already. And if your subject doesn't, that's okay. You can go to one that does, Year 12 English, Year 12 Literature, Year 11 Literature, certainly Year 11 English, they should all have them. Year 9 Enhanced English definitely does, and I think Year 9 English does as well. And they look like this. So this is our course page. So you can see Faculties English 9 Enhanced, and here's our overview. So I want to take this and put it on my class page. Now, one way you could do it is just to try and copy and paste. Unfortunately, that won't give you the colors, and you have to do it yourself. Time consuming. We don't want that. We want it to be time saving. So I'm going to hit modify. And then I'm going to select this button here. It says source. So it's gone into edit mode. I'm going to click on source, and this gives me the HTML code that has created the way that this looks. So, the center justification of that heading, the different colors, the table, the whole shebang, and it's all there ready to go. So I'm going to click on source. I'm going to press Control A and select everything in this box. So there you go. And then I'm going to press Control C, which is copy. I'm then going to hit save, make sure I don't edit anything. I'm going to go back to my class page, and then in this text box, I'm going to hit add text or multimedia. I'm going to write, oops, I've accidentally closed the tab. It's a shame. 9 enhanced. All right, add text or multimedia. I'm going to write welcome to Year 9 Enhanced English. Living the dream. Create text box. It jumps straight into edit mode. So because I'm pasting HTML code, and this is true for any text box, I need to paste it in source. If I don't paste it there, all that students will see is the code itself, and that's pointless. So I'm going to hit source, press Control V, which is the shortcut for paste. And I'll go, once I deselect the source button, you will see everything's there the way I would like it. I'm going to hit save. Living. What this gives students a really great overview of the whole year. So I've got semester 1, each of our units and what the assessment is. Semester 2, each of our units, what the assessment is. Good overview. Oh, I need to fix that. Good overview and a bit of a description at the top here of what's going to be happening. And that can just stay there now for the whole year. Done. The very last thing I want to add, oops, I'm going to scroll back up, is the tiles and a little shortcut, I suppose, to steal or borrow, so to speak, the tiles from the course page. I'm going to go back to the course page. So here's the tiles already done with pictures. Every single course has already got these, and making them yourself is pretty time consuming. Like even I find it pretty frustrating to do and kind of annoying. And there is actually a really short, easy way to put them from here, steal these ones straight onto your class page, and you don't have to do anything other than do the link. But it's much simpler than making these individually, getting the picture, making sure everything fits, doing the links, all that sort of stuff. So I'll go back to my class page, and I'm going to click on the plus, which gives us the component toolbox or toolbar, I suppose. And it shows you all the different options, but we want the tiles, which is under information. So I'm going to select tiles. I like mine to be over here above course outline. Oops, it's not unlocked. I like mine to be over here over course outline. And now normally, I'm going to close the toolbar. Normally you'd click add tile and add them individually. Pretty frustrating. So instead, I'm going to click on settings here, and I'm going to see here it says source. I'm going to hit browse. At the moment, it's looking for other tiles components that exist on my 9 enhanced class page. None exist at the moment, obviously, and I'm not going to make them because I don't want to spend the time. Instead, I'm going to go all the way back to home. And if you remember, I'm just going to go back to the course page for 9 enhanced. Up the top here, I've put a breadcrumb. So this tells you where this page lives, the course page, and it lives under English, the English faculty page under faculties. So that's the folders. So each one is within the next one. So if I go back to my class page, and this tells us the path. So I go back to my class page. I know I want to go to faculties. I know I want to go to English, and I want to go to 9 enhanced. This is the class, this is the course page that I want to take the tiles component from. I don't want to select anything else, so you can ignore all of these. These are all the unit pages and folders that might exist. You don't want to click any of them. You don't need to. So once you've opened up this course page that you want, you're going to hit use this folder. And automatically here it says layout. It gives us all the options for the tiles component layouts that exist on that page. There's only one, and it's called tiles, which is our unit pages. So I'm going to hit that, and then I'm going to hit update. And there we go. So these are all our unit pages. So if I was to select Ars Poetica, which is our first unit in 9 enhanced, it's going to open the unit page straight away. So that's really great for kids. So really what we're doing is we're putting the effort in now to make it as frictionless as possible and as easy as possible for students to do the right thing and go to the unit pages that we spend so much time on creating every year. And that way the work's done, and you minimize how many resources and things are on your class page, because you have to make these every year. And that's a big job. So we want to make it simple for ourselves, and most resources, if not all resources, except for your class specific resources, should be on the unit pages. So our tiles are done. The very last thing I want to show you how to do, and I think it's something important that we do across the faculty, is sharing with our students, what we're currently reading ourselves personally. And I like the idea of obviously having conversations in class, but I like reminding students that I'm reading regularly. So I always put it on all my class pages. And it's obviously pretty annoying having to make it 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I don't really want to do that. So we're going to use a similar process to what I just did for the tiles, to do the what am I reading text box. That way, if I update it on one of my class pages, it automatically updates it on all of them. So to do that, we're going to click the component button again to open the component drawer. And again, under information, we're going to add text box. And I'm going to move it, just make sure it's unlocked. It is, and just close that component drawer. I'm going to move it here above between the tiles and the course outline, but to be honest, you can put it wherever you like. And it's the same process. So I've already made it on my Year 12 class page. So I'm going to steal it from there. I'm going to point this text box to my Year 12 page so I can take that that same text box from there and put it here and make things a little bit easier for myself. So same process as with the tiles. I'm going to click settings, and for source, I'm going to hit browse. And this time, instead of going all the way back home, I know it's my current Year 12 class for 2022. So I'm going to select 2022 classes, and I'm going to click on Year 12. And the real positive thing is this will only show you the classes that you have access to. And at this stage, Year 12, I only have 2. I have 3. All of a sudden, that's interesting. I've got my 12 EAL class and my 12 English class, and whatever this is at the bottom, that looks like 12 revolutions. That's concerning. I'm going to click on 12 English D because that's where I know the text box lives, and I'm going to use this folder. And then you see at the top here, it says which text box, or it says text box rather. I don't want the welcome to Year 12. I don't want the one-to-one feedback booking. So these are the text boxes that exist on my Year 12 class page, but I do want the what am I reading text box. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to hit update. And like magic, now it automatically populates with the exact same text box that's on my Year 12 page. The really good thing about this is if I make a change here, I'm going to show you actually. So here is my change. I'm going to do it in red. All right, I hit save. So if I change it on one page, and this is true for tiles too, so I want people to be really careful. If I make a change to any of these tiles, it will change it on the course page. And for those of you that have multiple people in a team, 9 English, 10 English, 12 English, 11 English, 7 English, 8 English, it's going to change it for everybody if they do this process, which I would like people to do. So I want people to be really mindful of that. Obviously with this one, the what am I reading or personal ones, it's not important. But with ones that are shared with the team, it is important. So really try hard and avoid making changes to tiles or components that are shared across a group. So I've made a change to this text box. I'm going to show you my Year 12 class now, just to show you that that does work and I'm not a liar. So I'm going to open my 12 English page, which I've pretty much already done. And I'm going to scroll down. There's the what am I reading, and the change has appeared. So that makes it really simple. When I finish reading Architecture of Happiness by Alain de Botton, which should be pretty soon, I'm going to change this up. I'm going to put a new book in. I can choose any of my class pages, change it on one of them, and automatically it's pushed out and changed for all of them. This has been, as a side note, like this has been a really positive thing having this. I've had often many students actually ask me about the book that I'm reading when they see that it changes, and they've asked me, what's this book about? And, we have a bit of a chat, and that's actually, I think, a really excellent way, I suppose, to have pretty organic conversations in about text with students and sort of normalize it too. Like to talk about reading is and should be a normal thing. And so that's been really valuable. And I really encourage all staff to have these on their class pages. And this simplifies that process. I'm just going to close that 12 English page. So that's my 9 enhanced class page. It's pretty much done now. The things are there that I need to be there to begin with. I've got my tiles that link to unit pages. I've got an overview of the year. I've put a box with what am I reading at the moment. I've got my course has been imported, and I've done my rough due date so students can see, okay, that's going to be due pretty much the end of this month. And then not long after that, a little bit after that, I've got another assessment due, and things are kind of clear. Obviously, I'll adapt these as we go and obviously make them a bit more specific. But this is a good start for students to be able to go, oh, okay, this is our first unit. I want to go and have a look at it and have a bit of a dig and start to be a little bit more self-directed, I suppose, in their learning. And we're giving them every opportunity to do so. So I suppose think about this like an investment in the rest of the year for yourself and making things really simple and giving students the opportunity to do the right thing. If at any point you get stuck, you're not sure, let me know, shoot me a message, come and see me in my office. But that's a really good way to start off your year in a really simple fashion. That took maybe 10, 15 minutes to do. And that way you set yourself up for the year. Thanks very much, guys. Good luck. And I'll see you in the faculty meeting.